Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back, everybody. You can follow us on X. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on digperspectives.com, ladies and gentlemen. $2.79 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off 3.1. We see Bitcoin 82,400 plus, 1,800 plus for Ethereum. XRP number 4 spots 225. We're off 4.1 on the 24. We're up 4.7 on the 7-day, so it's a wash, however you look at it there. The range of price between 225 and 238. You know, I'm reminded by Egreg Crypto weeks ago, who told us, maybe even a couple months ago, anything between $2 and $3.40 is a noise belt. It's just an area of noise. So we're just bouncing around inside that $2 to $3.40 range. So that's kind of where my mind is. Some say $2 to $2.90. I guess it depends on the day and what the charts look like. But, you know, there's our little ranging window that we've been stuck in here lately, and we'll keep an eye on it. I do want to remind everybody right now, you want to get your ticket to XRP Las Vegas. It's going to be incredible, ladies and gentlemen. 72 days and counting to the largest XRP conference in the world, May 30th, May 31st, 2025. Listen, Bitcoin Vegas is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and XRP Las Vegas is Friday, Saturday. Flights, rooms, they're all getting bought up. Get your ticket today to see two of the people from the White House Crypto Summit on stage at XRP Las Vegas. And don't forget, Dr. Chris Brummer will be on stage as well, who also was at the SEC's Crypto Summit. So look, we have some real powerful industry leaders. People here are helping shape policy, all of it. And it's going to be a remarkable experience. Get your ticket, ladies and gentlemen. And also join us in the Freedom Zone. Just click the join button and come on in. We got some great extra content for you today when we get into it. And let's get started with it. What are we getting into? Well, it's this right here, ladies and gentlemen. Standard Chartered Bank cuts Ethereum year-end price target by 60% from 10,000 to 4,000, basically saying our target of Ethereum hitting 10,000 is now down to 4,000. Wow. Okay. So we're keeping an eye on that. I said yesterday in a post that Ethereum is on the struggle bus. There's no question about that. ETHgate's real, ladies and gentlemen. Bullish. Total of 80 public companies now have added Bitcoin to their holdings. And this makes sense because some did it before the United States announced a strategic reserve, and some have done it after. And I would expect that number to continue to rise, knowing that the U.S. government is now going to use Bitcoin in a strategic reserve in some shape, way, or form. And we'll get more clarity on that as we move forward. But it's happening. And again, I have said, because the U.S. government won't reveal the 4 Satoshis that they interviewed at the Department of Homeland Security, tells me Bitcoin is a government psyop. Write it down. Write it down. I'm cool with that. Just know what you got. Know what you're holding on to. It's disguised as a libertarian movement. That's how I see it. Here's John Deaton right here, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to him talking to Coinage Media. This is a great exchange, and John laying down where we are right now. Wonderful.
Different than that, we've got a president of the United States who has said they're going to make America the crypto capital of the world. We have an executive order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve, with also, which isn't just hodling the 200,000 Bitcoin that America has, but actually saying to the the Secretary of Treasury, who is a Bitcoiner, and the Secretary of Commerce, who is a Bitcoiner and also involved with Tether, I want you to find budget neutral ways to acquire Bitcoin. You would have never imagined that in a million years. And so I think it's official that the anti-crypto army of Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler, are done.
Yeah, no, and I think there's a lot of people that are excited to finally see that, just kind of considering all the shenanigans that played out in terms of, trying to undercut this industry. And really, I think, as you've championed, John, kind of undercut retail traders who are out there kind of trying to find a new system that works for them. I think there's also still, though, kind of this weird, I guess, phase right now where all of this is playing out. Obviously, a lot of changes happening in DC. And one of the questions I wanted to pose to you was around kind of what we're seeing. Ripple's been on a tear since the election, and that's one thing. And I think it's kind of interesting because obviously would love to get your take on kind of the SEC versus Ripple case as it exists now. But weirdly, I feel like Ripple's borne the brunt of kind of the downside when the SEC was going after them. But if they win, it kind of spills over to the rest of altcoins. And so I think it's kind of interesting to think about that in terms of the excitement and upswing in Ripple, maybe not being shared by the rest of kind of cryptos beyond Bitcoin and ETH. I mean, what do you make of that case, where we're at now, and what it says about the rest of the crypto space?
Yeah, it just shows you what a difference a couple years in an election can make. I mean, I think that we've seen the SEC officially dismiss the Coinbase case, the Kraken case. We've seen them end investigations against not dozens, but hundreds of companies that got Wells notices, Gemini, Robinhood, big names in the industry. The SEC is, folded their tent and said, we're done. Go innovate, and we're taking that boot off your neck. And so a lot of people have been expecting, especially in the XRP community, well, why hasn't the SEC v. Ripple case completely resolved? Everybody's got to understand it was a little different, right? There was an actual ruling by a judge who ruled early sales of XRP, needed to be registered and gave an injunction saying you can't sell like that anymore, direct sales, but secondary sales are okay. So there's a lot of finagling legally of how to remove that. There's been lots of reports, and maybe Eleanor, who's coming on in a little bit, will have more insight on her sources. But, there's a lot of talk that SEC and Ripple are close to coming up with a resolution that is going to end all of that litigation. And I think we're seeing what happens when you get a level playing field and innovation has an opportunity to breathe. And so I know a lot of people are upset, Zach, or maybe not upset, but impatient about price action and why isn't Bitcoin over 100,000 and why haven't the altcoins moved the way that they were expected to. Maybe I think that's all going to play out, but there could be never a more bullish time, in my opinion, for this industry. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm telling you, as someone who has 84% of his net worth in the asset class, obviously I'm pretty bullish.
No doubt about it. Shout out to John Deaton there. And he may not be a financial advisor, but he's one hell of a lawyer. Oh my goodness. Take a look at this. Hashdex files amendments to NASDAQ crypto index US ETF, adding XRP, Solana, ADA, Link, AVAX, Litecoin, and Uni. Yeah. This just keeps getting better. I tell you, everybody who really understands where this space is going is positioning themselves to be a first mover advantage. That's what's going on here. Meanwhile, Ripple stablecoin tracker, the real USD, 3.2 million minted at the real USD treasury, but that's not all. Then another 25 million minted at the real USD treasury. This is getting very good, ladies and gentlemen. It seems like the real USD is preparing for some kind of big launch here. Leonidas shares that the real USD circulating supply on CoinMarketCap now seems to have been updated. For the record, 125.64 million real USD have been minted on Ethereum and 44.05 million on the XRP ledger. The real USD supply has more than doubled in 6 weeks. If the CMC data is to be trusted, it took USD Tether 9 months to reach such growth. How about that? And I'd love to see what real USD when they fire up FedNow. Yeah. And stable coins. Simon McLaughlin puts out this diagram of JP Morgan, MasterCard, and Bank of America, IKEA as examples, and payment clearing and settlement in 8 steps, as it shows here. Simon McLaughlin puts one word: stable coins. This is absolutely right. These are the vehicles that are going to set this in motion. Look, you have to have the highway to run the cars on. Hello, XRP Ledger, XLM, XDC, other networks. When these stable coins get on that highway, you start to get a bunch of traffic. All that traffic needs gas. Hello, XRP for gas. Then you get so many cars on the highway that you start coming up with different pairings that can be made that could never be made before in human history, but now can be auto-bridged in a manner because of the use of XRP. How about that? Come on in. That's why stable coins are so important. They are the vehicles, along with central bank digital currencies, NFTs, and other instruments of tokenized value like stocks and bonds and so forth, that will be running around like little cars on these value protocols like the XRP Ledger, and they will all need gas to operate, which will require the token itself, and they will all need at some point auto bridging to be able to make pairings that are more efficient and cost effective, because XRP gets a privileged look before any transaction happens. And this all goes on in milliseconds, if not faster than that. Meanwhile, what do we see taking place here? Okay, watch this. Acting SEC Chairman Mark Udea says the agency is considering revising or rescinding Biden-era rules on investor protections, including crypto asset regulations. Now, we know, like Brian Rose says here, they've already dropped most lawsuits. It's already happening. There's no question about it. Shout out to Brian from London Rio. I have to say that, but there may be interior laws and bylaws and things like that that Gary Gensler put in place that are still being untied, because I don't think it's just the SAB 121, which was repealed, right? Remember, there's a lot of different layers that, obviously Gary Gensler's not a good guy. We got evidence of that. But here's one they say is a good guy. It's Paul Atkins, Trump's SEC chair nominee, inches closer towards becoming the SEC's new leader, with a Senate hearing reportedly planned for March 27th, according to Semaphor's Eleanor Mueller. How about that? So I think I pronounced that correctly. Nevertheless, excuse me, we should be hearing something very soon on that. And if we get him confirmed that soon, we should find out whether this case is going to end quickly with Ripple or whether it will continue to the Supreme Court. I hope it ends with legislation really putting a bow on all of this for the entire space and not just XRP. See that? Bitcoin maxis? To a person, I've never heard anybody from XRP say just XRP ever in my life. Former SEC commissioner, as we know, has been very bullish about the idea that Ripple has a very strong case. I don't need to play this. I don't want the video to get too long. But obviously, he said that they have a very strong case should they go to the Supreme Court. Now, that Paul Atkins is going to be the SEC chair in very short order, I don't know that that's going to be necessary for them to do that, especially with an administration that is pushing legislation through. So it may just be that the SEC stands down, as it's done in all these other cases, and allows Congress to actually do their job, which they haven't done in a long time. So here we see, this is a reminder for everyone here. Amonic says it. President Trump is not a stupid man. Why did he mention XRP first? Think about it. A U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration, which is why my executive order on digital assets directed by the Presidential Working Group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and ADA. I will make sure the U.S. is the crypto capital of the world. We are making America great again. Now, we know that there is a crypto strategic reserve, and we also know that there is a digital asset stockpile. Now, they've made delineations between those two, but the new U.S. Treasurer, Scott Bessent, has made it very clear that the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve is just starting with Bitcoin. There will be other assets that go in that as well. But they have declared that there's a difference between the two, that the Strategic Reserve is not to be sold where the stockpile can be. And I remind everybody that the escrow gets sold every month. So why wouldn't the stockpile for the U.S. government? Sounds like the escrow for the U.S. government to me. And none of this stuff works unless we get those protocols right, which is why I'm letting all of you know that I sat down for an amazing conversation with Austin King, and I'm about to release that video next after this one. Make sure you watch it. Oh my goodness, are you going to be blown away? And he's going to be on stage at XRP Las Vegas. Now, Austin King and I talked about the idea that what is missing, as he has said in some of his threads, you should follow him, it's straight fire. We've only built the first layer required for true Internet of Value. This is why using crypto is so difficult today. So what is the missing layer? Well, we had a conversation. It's ILP and XRP Ledger, and then other protocols that are valuable to the new on-chain digital economy as well. Make sure you check out that video. It's going to be fire, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto Bull says one more drop to the $2 region for XRP, then we're ready for takeoff. This falls in line with exactly what we've heard from Dark Defender and Eggrag Crypto. That range between $2, $2.90 to $3.40 is a noise window. We're in a channel of noise just bouncing back and forth. I think we need the confirmation of Paul Atkins. I think we need a resolution to the case, or at least understand where it's going to go, stablecoin legislation and the rest of it, and then we can forget about worrying about what's going on in the noise channel. I think we get well above that, and then we're talking about all the amazing things like utility becoming the new price driver to the crypto market and digital assets. And when that moment takes place, this space will never, ever be the same again. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We're going into the freedom zone. You're going to want to join us, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gracious, we're going to get into it. We've got so much. We're covering Elon today and a lot of things that he is working on, and you're going to want to see exactly what he's uncovered. Oh my. We're going in right now. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you in the freedom zone. Come on in. All right. Welcome back, everyone.